I'm Don Rogers. Okay, I live in Darien, New York, and we've been here since, I don't know, 1970 something, raising birds. Okay, so this is the wooden brooder that I use. Okay, it's a dry brooder. All right, they don't stay in here; they actually go to an enclosure. And to keep the baby wood ducks and the buffs and everything from climbing out, this board, and then there's a piece of plywood that goes all the way around this, so they climb up here and they can't climb out. All right, they fall back down and they hit the shavings. We use dry shavings, okay? This is something, it's just something that we use. It works for us. I don't know if it works for anybody else. I learned a long time ago, what works in one place might not work somewhere else, but this seems to work for us. Those brooders that you saw in the other building would actually be set up in here on the ground. There's 6 of them, and there's plugs, and they get heat lamps. I put the heat lamps on a timer. This building, because of the metal roof, gets very warm. Even in the coldest days, it'll be warm in here. So we start them in here dry, right? And even all of them we raise. We've got buffs and goldeneye. We found that they stay in the brooder for about a week, and then we move them into a pen over here on this side of the brooder. You have to excuse the mess a little bit. We've been catching it's right. This wall would be closed in, and then there would be dividers in between each one of these 3 concrete ponds, and there would also be a lean-to that would come down, hooked to these electrical boxes would be a heat lamp. All right, so that the young birds spend maybe a week, depending on how the weather is. I mean, if it's warm in the springtime, we'll move them out here sooner. If it's cold, they'll stay in here. They come out here, heat lamp, fresh water runs all the time. The water from the entire facility comes from our well. If we didn't have the well, we wouldn't have ducks. I have an 80-foot well that has a 65-foot column of water that never varies. Okay, so this is where the babies come. They stay here until about the time when they just about start to feather. And then we move them from there, okay, to another facility on the other side. I call it the goose pen because we used to raise geese. We don't raise geese anymore. You can't see through this too well, all right? But they will come from that pen over to here until, I don't know, until they start to fly, all right? Once they start to fly, we move them in with the breeder. This pond is dirty because I've been in it all day catching birds. It's 2x6s around the outside. Actually, it's a 2x12 with rubber roofing or koi pond liner, okay? Works pretty well. Thicker because the toes of the birds kind of cut through the thin stuff, right? This first concrete pond was the first pond I ever built, 1970 something, okay? And it still hasn't cracked, right? Metal roofing with light to let the light in. You'll see there's a post in here, and there are metal braces on the side. At one point in time, we get a lot of snow. I live east of Lake Erie, and we get lake effect snow. 4 falls ago, we had 7 feet of snow. Nobody believes me when I say that until I show them the pictures that you can't see out of the kitchen windows. All right, it's just amazing. We lost the entire facility. It collapsed under all that snow. So I'll show you the out back. We'll show you how we rebuilt it. Cost me a fortune. Okay, this is our main facility. I mean, it's not that big. Like I said, if I didn't have the well, there wouldn't be any water in this. We live on a gravel moraine. It holds water after the ducks get enough mud in it, all right? Every other year, I get a skid loader in and I try to clean it out as best I can. This netting is 3 years old. We had to replace the entire netting. That 7 feet of snow brought the entire facility down. It ripped my original net just into shreds. We lost a lot of birds. There were a bunch of birds floating dead on the pond because the net came down on top of them. And when the snow started to melt, there were holes in the net. And gosh, it was wonderful to see bufflehead flying around. There goes $600 this way. There goes a pair of goldeneye that way. We lost about a third of our breeders, okay, between getting stuck under the net and birds just flying away. They didn't come back. They liked their freedom, okay? But this facility started, I was a high school band director. I'm still involved with the band. And this was my escape from the kids. I came out here and I would sit, even in the coldest of days, and just sit and watch and learn something new every day about ducks. You know, I just I grew up on a hunting club on Long Island, so I've always been involved with ducks. I was a duck hunter at one point in time. I couldn't shoot them anymore once I found out how much they were worth. So, but these are our breeders. They'll stay here and they'll come into the enclosure in the wintertime. This pond might stay open, depends on the winter. The last couple of winters have been, last winter was rather mild. The winter before was not. Okay, I don't know if you can catch the mother ring teal that snuck a nest in here. My grandson and I checked all the nest boxes. There was nobody nesting 1st of August. Well, last week I came out and I obviously missed something because there's 6 little baby ring teal swimming around on the pond. She'll raise them if they make it. She did same thing to me last year, and she raised them, so we'll see. All right, the outside of our facility is 6 feet of chain link, actually 6 feet of quarter or half-inch hardware cloth all the way down to the ground with 4 strands of electric. We have quite a few raccoons around. The electric keeps the raccoons out, okay? Knock on wood, I haven't had any vermin. There's no place that I think is vermin-proof, all right? No matter how, I mean, it'd have to be a steel box. But this seems to work for us. I didn't have the hardware cloth on here, and the mink got through the chain link, and I found a pile of mink in the corner. He probably had killed 20 birds in one night. So we went out, and I went down, saw my friend at Ace Hardware and said, I'd like to order 350 feet of 6-foot hardware cloth. And he says, well, I can only get it in 3-foot lengths. So I had to order 700 feet of hardware cloth. It took Bonnie and I about a week to put this hardware cloth up to keep the mink out. Buried in the ground on the outside, okay, it's 2 feet of vinyl coated chicken wire, all right, to prevent anybody from digging down into the ground. I did vinyl coated because it keeps it from rusting, right? All the way around the entire facility is that, what do you call it, wire, okay? So far, knock on wood, we've been lucky, okay? I did have a weasel get in. I have chipmunks. We're overrun with it. That had dug underneath, found a hole, and that weasel found the chipmunk hole. So he got into one of my brooders, killed a few birds, you know, so it happens, all right? So we have a variety of nest boxes. I think every time I look in the APWS and I see a new nest box, I've got to design one just like it, okay? A lot of our puddle ducks nest in this ground box, all right? Nobody nested in there this year. Some of them are rather old. This is a ruddy duck, and it opens from the other side, right? It's the same as the other one. There's no difference, all right? What we've used recently, I gotta find one, the boxes with the porch on it. On the other side of the pond. The wood duck and the mandarin, goldeneye, they like that dark area. They get in there and it's kind of dark, okay? I have a shop, so every winter I build a couple of more boxes, replace a few. I've got some tops that need to be replaced. It's a constant, you know. I mean, if you're involved in this, you know, it's never done, okay? You never can put your feet up and say, I got it done. No, it just constantly goes. Like the canvasback love to root underneath these 2x6s. I mean, that needs to be filled in. So I've got to open the gate up, put some dirt in there. I'll put the dirt in, and then they'll dig it out. You know, they like doing that. So if they want to do it, I'll let them do it. You know, so.